Norway is the cold but attractive country of the north. As an extremely extraordinary country with its natural beauty, architecture, living standards and strange laws, you can't help but think that Norway is living on another planet as it becomes familiar. So how is this country different from the rest of the world? So let's watch and see together. Have a good time. Every prisoner in prisons in Norway has unlimited internet. Not that much. Each of them has the right to stay in a single, luxurious room if they want, with plasma televisions, private showers and if they wish. However, the crime rate is very low. In fact, only 10 police officers have been killed since the Second World War. One of the 3 countries with the highest standard of living in Norway, and they only work an average of 6 hours a day. People should spend time with their families and friends, travel and have time for personal growth. Work should be secondary. Because the state thinks that happy individuals will have higher productivity and short working hours of people who have plenty of free time. The population is only 6,650,000 people live in Oslo, the most populous city. Nevertheless, instead of building high-rise buildings, the state prefers small and colorful buildings that are compatible with Norwegian culture and integrated with their nature. Because he thinks that nature protection is the most important thing to have a happy life. Therefore, there is a special interest in animals. For example, even neutering your dog is prohibited if it will not improve the quality of life of your dog. Animal rights violations have severe prison sentences. If pets, on the other hand, are frequently controlled by the government for maltreatment. There are about 450,000 lakes in the country, and nature is people's biggest fun. Most of the population have old-style houses by the lakes and in the villages, and when they want to be isolated from the world, they can come here and live a primitive life away from everyone. Even in the center of towns where wild animals are so accustomed to humans, you can come across wild deer. The state sees every writer and artist as a potential talent, even if you are not famous, and supports them. For example, the state minds someone who wants to write a book, a monthly salary called ground. And he pays this salary until the book is finished. Support does not stop after the book is released. Each library is assigned to buy new books in a certain number and to bring this book together with the public. This means trust for people who want to produce something. Of course, the climate is very cold in winter and alive. In these seasons, camping, forest, mountaineering and skiing are generally at the forefront. There is a ski center no more than 20 minutes from everyone's home, and the forests are already adjacent to the cities. The presence of thousands of mountains and fjords creates a very suitable environment for extreme sports. In the summer, the seas are hot enough to enter, as the weather warms up in most of the country. There are many beaches and lakes. You can even see people swimming in the lakes among the snow even in the winter months. In these lakes with hot springs, people love to swim in winter. Young people prefer to camp here in both summer and winter seasons. While doing these activities, watching the Northern Lights, a visual feast of nature, must be one of the greatest luck of Norwegians. Northern Lights are the natural radiation that emerges in the sky as a result of the interaction of the Earth's magnetic field and charged particles from the Sun. You can watch this image from most of Norway. Although Norway is originally a monarchy, the royal family exists only symbolically. And the right to speak belongs entirely to the parliament. This is not a monarchy in which kings have unlimited rights like in Middle Eastern countries. The king has no direct influence on the government. It is more of a symbolic and historical value and is equal to everyone within the framework of the laws. Although 70% of the population is Protestant, people often define themselves as atheists. At the same time, Norway refused to enter the European Union because of the higher living standards than Europe. This decision was made by the people as a result of a referendum. The state basically has an understanding of a country intertwined with nature. Intercity roads are usually built as bridges or tunnels for both maintenance and environmental protection. The longest tunnel in the world with 21 kilometers is also in Norway. This understanding has enabled them to create a fabulous architecture, with their houses and other buildings. Almost every street is a photographic frame. For example, Borgundstave Church is 800 years old and is very well preserved, although it is wooden. The country is famous for fishing and its fishing huts are just as nice, and the houses are colorful and wooden, depending on old traditions. Especially if you go to the villages, you can see the more unusual ones. Village houses, built to be covered with earth to provide natural insulation, are still in use. And don't be surprised that trees have grown over most of them. As many of you know, the houses and environment in the famous novel and movie Charlie's Chocolate Factory were designed inspired by Norway. So what's not in Norway? Let's take a look at them. No traffic noise and no horn-sounding drivers. No worries about thinking about bills at the end of the month. In Norway, too many glasses, shoes, clothes or many valuable items are left on the street. Homeowners don't care about them. These items, which are collected from the streets by non-governmental organizations, are sent to poor countries in Africa and Asia for aid as no one takes them home. No worries about being scammed. Fraud cases amongst criminals in Norway few to the fingertips of one hand, and those who do are socially ostracized. No school expense considerations. As long as a person wants to read. University education is free, even for outsiders. The state provides financial support to those who are in poor financial situation. No children exposed to violence. If teachers find a scar on a child, the government immediately starts an investigation. And as soon as it is detected that the child is being subjected to violence, he immediately takes it from the family. These checks are done regularly. No worries about theft. Again, one of the lowest crime rates in Norway is theft. Stealing is considered among the most shameful crimes. It is also the country where Norway is the only penguin with a knight title. Penguin Nice received a medal from the Norwegian Army and became a colonel in 2005. And he was appointed honorary commander of the Norwegian Royal Guard Regiment. On the day he was promoted to an honorary colonel, the penguin Olive, who inspected the ceremonial continent, also visited his 90 centimeters life-size statue. In fact, a Norwegian officer said that we are sure that we have chosen the penguin best suited to command of the country's most elite unit. He is currently in the rank of Brigadier General. In fact, it is the third-generation penguin named Nice Olive. In the 1970s, Lieutenant Nice loved a penguin at the zoo and made him the mascot of his troops. The penguin, who received special attention from the Union every time they came to eat in Brødua for the show, later became an honorary member of the Norwegian Royal Guard in 1980. The first penguin, who was the mascot of the Union and was made an honorary member with a ceremony, died in 1987. However, the Norwegian Army, which made the second and third penguins, who are descendants of that penguin, also honorary members of the Royal Guards, has carried the same tradition to the present day. Penguins seem to be happy with this tradition, because they inspect their soldiers like a commander. Norway, as in every aspect, reveals its extraordinary nature in this regard. Equal rights, on the basis of the rule of law and nature, where people can live in safety without thinking about the future, a country without political debates, racial and religious divisions. I hope one day all humanity can reach the same framework of understanding. You can subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications to access more content. Thanks for watching.